All these men had to deal with, you did not find me attractive until I had some money. DeMars Burton said, Charlie Murphy mentioned it on Rick James' skit. Yes, Brother Darkness, y'all the blackest nigga out here. He said this was before Wesley Snipes. Nobody thought Wesley Snipes or Michael Jordan were handsome. Can we be honest? Excuse me, not nobody. Very few people thought they were handsome. Wesley Snipes was handsome because he was Nino Brown. He was on television. He was in the movie. But remember what they started saying to Wesley Snipes when he married the Asian woman? Taye Diggs. Said Taye Diggs, yep. So he went from black women calling him dark skinned and ugly to those same women giving him nasty looks when he got a white girl. Yep. I don't have to say anything. You guys see it in the comments. Growing up as a black boy, I grew up with my cousins who were, many of them were, mixed and high yellow. And because I was not, I still remember having to hear my own mother tell me, when a girl told me I was handsome, she said, he doesn't look bad for a dark-skinned man. Tyrese, I can remember, and I love my grandmother to death. I remember her and my aunt laughing at him on the Coca-Cola commercial when he was singing, and they said while I sat there, look at that black-ass nigga on that bus singing. My grandmother and my aunt sit right there looking at this Coca-Cola commercial, and as this boy is singing, all they said was, ha, 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 look at that black-ass nigga singing. And I was a kid, and I sat there and I said, but Wesley Snipes was not considered handsome until he got money. But when he married a non-black woman, what was the first thing the black people started right back calling him? You want to know how black people really feel about you? Make them mad. Make them mad. Make them wanna come kick your black ass. You wanna know how black people feel about you? Just make them mad. Soon as Wesley Snipes married a non-black woman, they started right back calling him a sellout and ugly and saying that he's stupid, that the only reason that white woman want him is because his money, which was ironic because the only reason the black woman wanted him was because of his money. How many of you black people ever thought, how many of you dark-skinned people, because we know, how many of y'all have ever thought about how weird that is? They call you ugly, you get a good job or something happens in your life, they try to fuck you out of your money. But if you go with somebody of another race, they will tell you the only reason that person wants you is because of your money. But the only reason you wanted me was because of my money. That doesn't make sense. So I'm not supposed to give it to this white woman? I should give it to you who's turned me down my whole life until I got something. All the dark-skinned fat boys were considered ugly. The light-skinned fat boy was still considered pretty. Women would still say how handsome Big Pun was simply because he was light-skinned. It didn't matter that he was big. Heavy D was big, but they still didn't call him, and his fat didn't bother black women because he was light-skinned. They never called him ugly. Ever. Like I said, I still remember the first girl I felt. I always thought black, dark-skinned girls were really cute. And it was this girl I fell in love with in the 8th grade. I wanted that girl. And we went in the damn closet for that 7 minutes of heaven. And she liked me and I liked her. I was rather shy at this moment. She liked me and I liked her. And we were in the closet and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to kiss her or what. But we were there and we were starting to get comfortable. And then I heard the people in the outside saying, they so black they can't see each other. When technically, whoever you put in that closet was, they couldn't see each other, but apparently it was still just funnier that we couldn't see each other when no one could. I listened to them say if they have a baby, we should call it Spot. And every little joke they made, I moved away from her because I could hear them. And she was crying. When they opened the door, she ran out, I walked out. And I was so worried about how they viewed us that I never talked to her again, even in class, because I did not want to be associated with her. That's how bad it was. I didn't want to be associated with her. I'd said I do not want to have a child who's dark-skinned like me because I knew being dark-skinned was a handicap. I knew being dark-skinned was a handicap. Imagine growing up like that and becoming a 45-year-old man. And as a 45-year-old man, still hearing grown-ass people who are black like you, including now Kwame Brown, who's darker than me and ashy on every video, calling me crispy because of my skin color. Imagine that group is trying to tell you to stick together and be black and be proud. I'm black and I'm proud, but I'm too black to be proud. I want you white people who have no idea what we're talking about to understand this. There's a saying that says, I'm black and I'm proud, which is false pride in the first place. But imagine that your slogan is, I'm too black to be proud. Do you know that black people say to me right now, we only call you crispy because we know being dark bothers you. But I don't know these people. So how would they know being dark bothers me? If you didn't care, we wouldn't call you that. That doesn't make sense. You didn't call me because you knew I cared about being dark. You called it because you thought it would bother me. Just like being short is supposed to be an insult. It's like being fat. It's supposed to be an insult. And what makes the black community so bad is that they justify the hatred that they put on you. They justify the shit that they do to you. Now imagine this man, I'm just 45. And you don't know how many times I've wanted to put a 38, 22, 9, 50, and a 45. I tell people all the time because I want to help as many people as I can. The only reason I am not dead today is because I was too much of a coward to pull the trigger. That's it. That is it. What the black man is dealing with today is insane. He's dealing with color issues. He's dealing with masculinity issues. He's dealing with father issues. And on top of everything that he's dealing with as a black man, you're dealing with, you have to go get a job in which most of the people who are at that job don't want to hire you at that job. It's difficult to get somebody to give you some money for you to start your own business. As a matter of fact, you can find more black people from out of the country who can get a job than, or that can get business loans for businesses than black men who are in the country. Couple that with the fact that they grew up in typically single mother households where the mother would talk shit about you, your skin color, your prowess as a man, as a boy, whatever it is. And then you get thrown to the world and get told you need to be able to get a job even though you don't own jobs. If you don't have the freshest car, because remember, light-skinned dude can just be light-skinned, no job, no car, and still get taken care of. Dark-skinned dude, for us to even be considered worthy of something, we got to have something or be threatening. As a dark-skinned dude, we're considered we have to be able to know how to dance or play some kind of sport. See how he said he was considered corny? Do you understand the same black women would date a white man who was doing exactly what he was doing? Because if you don't believe me, look at Serena Williams' husband. Look at the majority of these black women who have white husbands. You look at the fact that if Zendaya had a black dude, he wouldn't be as lame as Tom Holland, but Tom Holland is not considered lame. So imagine being black and being a dark-skinned black kid who's into science, who's into mathematics, and getting called lame. But the black girl who called you lame will date the white boy who was in your math group, who was in your science group. Same demeanor, same voice, same attitude. But because he's white, she still threw herself at him. But because you're dark and you ain't out there thugging, you ain't a man. You don't have swag. You corny. But she said since she's been in America, all they do is make fun of how black she is. She said when she went to school, she did not understand how they would constantly make fun of how black she is. I heard her story. It was crazy. And I used to always say, I'd rather be a dark-skinned man than a dark-skinned chick because we can overcome it by gaining things. But then I realized, no, we can't. Nobody's proud to have our baby unless we're rich. Nobody's running around saying, I got a baby by that dark-skinned guy, but they do run around saying they have a baby by that light-skinned guy. Nobody says to a dark-skinned man, I want our baby to look just like you, unless it's a white woman. Because black people don't. We just don't say it. As a matter of fact, we typically say we hope our kid don't look like us because we don't want our kid to go through the fuck what we went through. This is a 54-year-old man who's let you know that he had to wash away a lot of his pains through doing drugs. This is a 54-year-old man who's more accomplished than many of us will ever be. And yet he still was insecure about who he is and what he was in life at 54 years old. At the age in which you should be settled into who you are and ready to walk into retirement. But instead, you're still hearing people call you crispy, blackie, midnight, and smoke, no matter what you do. As a light-skinned dude made a video about me, and I seen the black women in the comment section said, you know Tommy gonna say something back to you because he jealous because you pretty. Which is why I don't make any videos towards the guy. Because I couldn't believe it. He's jealous because you're handsome. Like, whoa, I thought me and the man would be arguing about what he said versus what I said. I didn't know he was just considered handsome and I'm ugly. Didn't know that. The drugs help the individual mask the pain. Then the drugs become a crutch. This man has a child. We haven't heard from the wife, the girlfriend, the ex-wife, the kid. The people who seem to be showing him the most love are his peers. His peers. The white thespians he worked with. The black man in my movie, A Fatherless America, who decided to shoot himself. because of how he was treated when it came to child custody and him seeing his own kid. Men, we ask a woman to marry us. They turn us down. We ask a woman to date us. They turn us down. We ask a job to hire us. They turn us down. We ask a group of people to parole us. They turn us down. We can't even ask the cop for a warning ticket. They'll turn that down. And yet we still have to put on a smile for the rest of the world and act like we so tough that nothing bothers us. You have black girl magic, but you don't have black boy magic. You have black girls rock, but you don't have black boys rock. You have Goldman Sachs giving $10 billion to help black women get jobs, and you have Goldman Sachs spending $10 million, a billion, to house black men in prison. I don't think y'all heard me. You have Goldman Sachs giving $10 billion to help black women in business. You have the same company giving $10 billion to help house the counterpart to that black woman in prison. Same company. The fact that black men are not out right now killing every other race of people is amazing. The fact that we haven't just gotten up, got armed, and just said, fuck it, is amazing. That is a testament to black men. Because the only thing we know how to do right now is kill ourselves. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, why black men are killing black men so much? Because we see that which we hate. Because we hate ourselves. The true self-hate is when a black man is killing another black man. When we go out and kill each other, it's because we've been taught so much to hate each other. We don't like each other. There's a hatred for ourselves, and we see it in someone else. We don't have forgiveness for each other. We don't have love. We don't have understanding. All we see is an enemy. All we see is, as I told you earlier, that devil.